Hi. As you can see, it's just me. Linda G is not here yet. We had a mix-up. I was supposed to be on her show. Then she's had computer problems, so she was going to try and be on my show. I sent her an invitation. I just checked my emails, and I didn't set the email to the right address. So 5 minutes ago, I sent her another invitation, and I'm hoping she's watching out for it. If she's not, the reason she's not here is not because of Linda, except for her screwed up electricity. It's because I don't know how to type on tiny little phones to put in emails. Anyway, doesn't show anybody's here yet. So I'm waiting for you to kind of catch up with me. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Skywalking. Hi, Spring K. I'm really sorry if Linda doesn't show up. We did talk this morning. She's having some power problems. She lives in that part of California where things sort of blow up and don't work terribly well. I'm hoping she catches that the email came in late and that she will get here on time. Problems with sound. I do not have sound? Okay. Let me see. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me at all? People are telling me they're having problems with their sound, and let me get over here and see what it says. Nope, it says on my end that I'm making the sound I'm supposed to make. So, some people can hear me. So if you can't hear me, check your own audio because, trust me, I mean, Mercury went direct this morning at 8 o'clock, about maybe close to 9 o'clock Central Daylight Time. But I don't think it's finished being screwy. Other things of note before we get into the candles, I'm going to give Linda a chance to see the messages for me. I did yesterday. We spent all afternoon trying to put up the classes the garden classes that I taught for the people who wanted to know about them. And I wanted to let you know that for some reason yesterday YouTube was just being very, 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 very slow and not picking things up quickly. And poor tech support had 3 shots at rendering through those classes. I think the intro's through, which explains how to use the classes if you have the gardens. If you don't, I don't know what to say because we're working on it. We're trying to work on all the things we can get done. One more thing. I think. Okay, wait a minute. I have Linda G's phone number. I'm going to mute you guys for a second. Talk among yourselves. Okay. Okay. I'm here. Can you hear me now? Am I talking again? Okay. I could hear the phone ring. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, just I realized I have her phone number. And I'm texting her. So, we'll see if it goes through. If it doesn't, then y'all get me and my charming self. and we'll light the 6 candles, and we'll talk about that. And we'll do a makeup session with her some other time. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is one of the dragonfly is the spirit animal of my crystal company. I just did text her. And we'll see where it goes from there. What else is going on in my world? I'm planning a Halloween show. I think it's going to be kind of fun. I'm doing it with the people who I used to work with at Dolly Python's, which is the vintage clothing store, because we used to get a lot of haunted items, and we have a lot of fun haunted items stories. So that's going to be one of my Halloween shows. And Medium Kim's going to join us because she and I were going to talk about the thinning of the veil. And trust me, that old Piggly Wiggly store that's been turned into a resale place is a place with a very thin veil. Okay. I don't know what to say. Except vamp, 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 vamp. What else is going on? I've got a few more grids finished. I'm about to start trying to teach the garden through little sessions on TikTok. Try it, see what happens. Yeah, I love dragonflies too. Dragonflies are interesting. Spiritually, when you read about them, they've had an incredible emotional, spiritual essence forever in mythology. And one of the myths, my favorite myths about dragonflies, is that dragonflies can kind of fly and go this way and go that way and do all that stuff. And the reason they can do that is because they were designed to carry little angels on their backs so that the angels could use them like a helicopter. I think that's kind of funny because that myth comes before there were helicopters. Okay. Yes, I will send you the invitation. I just had someone who is going to be tomorrow come to me right now and say she can get on today. So we're going to try that. It's going to be, if she comes through, it's Dr. Gail. Wrong email. Okay, Dr. Gail, I just sent it to you. See if you can get on. I'd appreciate it, because it works better when there's 2 of us here. And yes, we don't have, where I live, there's not like a lot of water, which is kind of the thing you need to have dragonflies. But the other day I went out and there's a tiny little clear, almost black but clear winged dragonfly out by my front door, and I thought, well, that's cool. Let's see, make sure your email went through, because it's just not cooperating today. It didn't bounce back, so I take it Dr. Gail has it. And if not, I'm going to just have to go ahead all on my lonely, all by myself. Yes, truth transcends illusion. That's true. That's the thing about dragonflies. Okay. Dr. Gail's not here yet either, and so I'm probably just going to have to go ahead and just move ahead, because we've been on here 10 minutes, and I can only vamp for so long, guys. Oh, Dr. Gail is here. Yay! Well, a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Hi, I'm still getting dressed. No makeup, anything, but I'm here.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Well, what we're going to do then is I'll contact her and see if we can work something out for her to be here tomorrow because Dr. Gail was going to be here tomorrow and she's here today.
Hi.
You don't know Dr. Gail? She does Starseed. You're Walking with Moon.
Skywalking with Moon.
Skywalking
right.
with Moon. Mm-hmm. And
I'm the alien girl.
she's the alien person. Let's see. Yeah.
I want to show y'all everybody my candles and my special plate for my candles.
Oh, wow. She's doing her deal.
Yes, I had a red plate and never been able to use it, and now I use for it. I love red. I wore red.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say you seem to have a top that's red. Okay. So what we're going to do is, for those of you who've been here before, and for those of you who are new, okay, there we go. Okay. The 9 red candles is something I learned years ago, and I'd always learned it to do prosperity. And a matter of fact, Gretchen, who's going to be here from Dolly Python's, she used to do it frequently in her store when she wanted to boost things and make sales go up and stuff. And I used it when I first started my channel to up my numbers. And so then after I did it, people said, well, what was that ceremony again? So the next time I did the 9 red candles, it was to discuss different rituals that different readers used. And I had a lot of different readers like this time. And people who were just, some of them were just clients of mine who had a more spiritual bent. And we got on and we talked about what rituals they had in their lives. As you can see, there's 9 red candles. There also, this time I chose the peacock stone to be the center stone for them to be around. The peacock stone is pyrite, which has been infused with minerals that make it that kind of blue, and that's done by Mother Nature, not by us. It's what it is, and it's covers all the chakras. That's why I picked it for this time, because I'm trying to seek complete alignment. So now you know about kind of what's been going on. What the 9 red candles this time is set to do is to take people and move them into a multidimensional realm, and to because that's where we're headed. We're going from 3D world to 4 and 5D world, and the changes that are happening around people, some people find disorienting, other people find them delightful. Most people find them that it requires some adjustment, since we are in this 3D world in a 3D body. But I wanted us all to have a chance to move from being sort of on a black and white timeline into a multi-dimensional timeline. And the way I view it is it's multi-dimensional and multicolored. So when I light these candles, I'm going to have us do 3 deep breaths before we light the candles. And when you breathe in love and light. When you breathe out to relax. And if you do that, we're going to do that 3 times before we light the candles, because it really changes our abilities to focus and work with the candles. So this is going to be first breath in. Exhale. Second breath in. Exhale. Third breath in. Exhale. And now you can open your eyes or keep them closed, whatever you were doing. And as we light these candles to connect our spirit and energy with positive changes and moving forward, by combining our energies, thoughts, and prayers, we will build a haven of safety for us to find peace within our hearts and have the energy flow into the universe. Each of us has our own energetic rainbows, and we will now mingle them across these dimensions. Day 1. day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and day 6. And that's the lighting of the candles. So, okay, we're going through changing times, but apparently Mercury retrograde is still functioning just like it usually does. It's messing everything up. We can all discuss that on Thursday with Dorothy. She's not a big proponent on blaming everything on Mercury, but I'll take it today. And Jupiter went station today, so that means it's going to start to move direct. And then the other ones are going to follow in December and January, the other big planets. But at one point, a couple weeks ago, only, I think Venus and Mars were moving direct. So it's been interesting. And you're going to start to see some things breaking and changing in your own life as well as universally. So, what's going on with Dr. Gail?
Well, I was just going to talk about a little bit about rituals.
Okay, rituals, fine.
Well, what has gotten me through my darkest times, and probably one of my hardest times in my life, was taking care of my dad with dementia for 8 years. And so during that time, I started journaling. And also that's when I started making my grateful list. Overachievers I am, you only need to do like 3, but I was doing 10. And then writing down 3 small things I needed to accomplish that day. And that ritual really got me through those times, because every day I had to think of something positive that was going on in some really dark times during his care. And so I have stuck with that. And then after he passed, I started meditating, and that was a new ritual I had started. I had never done meditation. And then that's when my awakening occurred. Best thing I ever did. Best thing was taking care of my dad for 8 years. As hard as it was, I would never change that time I had with him. And it also made me create those type of rituals, which I still do today. And then I started meditating, and my whole world changed when I did start meditating. I was opened up to a different universe with meeting different aliens, and my whole world has changed since then. So I'm a proponent for these type of rituals, and that has really gotten me through my days.
Yeah, I think gratitude lists, just like, well, meditation actually means to become familiar with. So when we meditate, we become familiar with our own selves and our own thoughts. And I know that for years of my life, I ran as fast as I could from ever sitting still anywhere, you know? I'm dealing with that.
I was the same way. I was always on the move.
And people who say, oh, you guys, you've always been so serene and stuff. You should have met the 30-year-old me. Serenity had nothing to do with me.
Well, I was always pretty easygoing because I was always in stressful situations, working in the operating room as a nurse. And I was in open heart surgery and neurosurgery. So I was in the pressure cookers all day long. So I'm able to keep my cool under a whole lot of stress, but I was always on the go. Meditating was not in anywhere in my...
No. And so if you all say, oh, but is it too late to start? It is never too late to start. I got a comment like that over here. And also I want to thank everyone who showed up, all of the people.
Yes, I started off with guided meditations, really short ones. And I started off like 10-minute ones, 15-minute ones. Now I would not go a day without a meditation. Even if it's only 20 minutes for me now, I have to have it. I have to open up all my chakras and everything to get my day started. And that's just another ritual for me. And it's something that I have to, well, not have to, but it makes my day go much more smoother. And my whole world has opened up to new gifts. I've always had the gift of being able to talk to the people who've passed. I've always had that gift, but I had no idea what all the gifts have been coming to me since then. I mean, it's been like I'm on a freight train.
Oh, I know the feeling. It's like, if you'd have told me 2 years ago, oh, you're going to be channeling for apparently one person told me the Ascended Masters. I'm not sure that's who doing this. If they are, they're not very nice sometimes. But, I'm channeling through the garden and channeling through 4 and 5D, and all of a sudden, I remember in 2018, the first time I ever heard about the Ascension, I went, the what? And then I came back to Texas, and I still didn't know anything about it. And I'd be at my reading table at times 10, and literally for 2 months, almost every Tuesday night, someone showed up and they'd start talking to me about something totally different. And then they'd go, oh, but you know all about the Ascension, don't you? And I'm going, no, I don't. Quit asking me that. Ended up, I had to find out all about it. And I had to find out what my stair-step parts of what I was being opened up to were. Now, mind you, I dyed my hair purple before then, but, so I wouldn't. I have a question for you, Dr. Gail. People want to know where your charming Southern accent is from.
Yeah, I don't have an accent, everybody. Yeah, I'm from South Carolina.
Yeah, I was going to. Yeah, I presume. Somebody said, "What part of Texas are you from?" Well, I thought at first, do they mean me? I don't. When I go home to the Midwest, my friends say you talk like a Texan, but Texans and Southerners don't normally hear that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my whole world is, I'm going to be putting a video out today on this, but my job here, I think, is I'm going to be getting people used to first contact. When the aliens do come here and we do have first contact, I am meeting all different aliens all the time. And I have just recently started meeting them in the 3D, meeting them. And just this week or last week, I met one out on the trails walking my dog. And I don't recognize it until I'm back finished, and I'm so angry with myself not to ask questions when I see them. But that is what my mission, I think, will be, is we're helping ascend, and eventually we will know who our other people are, the people that we are working with, and are helping us. And there are a lot of them out there helping us. So, but I appreciate, Nancy, you bringing me on for your candles.
Oh, no. Well, the thing is, our energy is, our views, where we're all going, it's like this giant big dome. It's like this great big tent. Like I've said before, since I was a little kid, I thought energy came at us from all directions, and we got information from all around us. Like a globe. It wasn't a linear read history from war to war kind of thing. I saw history as a much more global thing. I saw science as a much more global study. And I want to be... Oh, somebody, Mims wants to be on your first contact team.
Mims, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the first contact committee on the spaceship that I work on, and they know they're shooting for 2024, but I'm not real sure how that's going to come about. They have shown me that I will be there, but Mims, I'll keep you in mind if I have that option to invite people.
What she can do is go over to Skywalking with Moon and follow you, and then when you're looking for volunteers and people to help you, if she's a subscriber, she'll know, right?
Right. Well, yeah, you'll know probably a week after I know, because I'll have to absorb it going, is this really happening? Sometimes I have to, like my second contact with this alien that I haven't posted yet, I have to sit there and think about, did this really happen? Yes, it did.
You have to kind of sort it out. It's like, it's like when we have remote visions, if we're staying on this planet, and we're having remote visions about things in this planet, was that a daydream? Because a lot of what I wrote off as a young person as a daydream, or I used to write plays, and I've gone back and I've read them. And I wrote a play that had characters named Sean and Casey and Patrick. And I'd forgotten about that play completely until after I'd given birth to my first two children, and their names were Sean and Casey. And it ended up, they've taken on the characteristics of the people in that play. And Patrick, I knew Patrick was a name I really liked, and I kind of forgot he was a bit player at the end of the third act and the one I wrote. And I wrote these in high school, guys. So I think there's a lot of writers that channel in information and you don't realize that you're channeling. When you're talking about journaling, there's a writer, and I can't remember her name, and I thought about her this morning, but she runs a free 7-day writing course, and what she does is she get an email from her every day for 7 days, and she gives you a topic and then some other keywords you can work in, or you don't have to. And she actually does it verbally. She sends you a tape sort of thing, a file. And I found learning to write and journal working with her system was so interesting, because she made it, ended up all the topics she picked, this is just as I was channeling in the game, and it also perfectly fit with what was going on around me with the game. So I think there are some guided things to help you journal if you're looking for that.
Well, I'm supposed to be writing a book, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, I have journals and journals, and I even have now a big starseed notebook of all the different aliens. But I haven't. I need an artist to be hand in hand with me, because I'm not an artist, and I have so many descriptions of everything I've met and who I've met, missions I've been on, the places I've gone to, and I really need an artist for.
Find somebody who does police sketches, or find an art student, who wants to practice.
I know. That's my excuse right now, Nancy.
Okay. I won't make another suggestion, I promise. Because I'm not writing a book, man. I didn't mean to write a book. I ended up writing a book about the garden, but it came in one day at a time. That's why I was starting to talk about, I think I'm going to, it's hard to teach the garden, because when you get into it, it gets very weedy. It's a garden, right? But, I mean, there's only so much information you can take in at a time, and that's how it was for me to even bring it in. And I think I'm going to be do a roll of the day, and then talk just about one section of the garden, or one crystal that's in the garden, or how something relates in the garden on TikTok. So it's really quick. It'll be like a minute and a half.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think people can watch that and not get overwhelmed. And quite honestly, much troubles I'm having with YouTube right now, a minute and a half, going up for just a minute and a half seems a little extreme. It takes me 3 minutes to get set up and get going.
Well, my videos are all of them are practically under 5 minutes. So.
Oh, I know, you're great. I mean,
Mine are done. I got my information out, and I'm done.
Okay, Style Walking with Moon. Somebody just subscribed. Oh, Juno did. Juno's a cool lady. She's been following me for a little while now. And somebody else commented that she's feeling a bit spacey today.
Oh, okay.
So, and let's see.
You're describing because of Mercury. So I don't know much about astrology, and that's just not one of my areas of, talents or expertise. So I'm going out visiting planets now and meeting different aliens. But the astrology part and where they're lined up and things like that, I don't know much about that. I have to leave that to other people. But I have started doing the one-on-one, meeting different species on different planets, and even just on Orion here recently, I have met 2 different species that are there, and I think there's many that live on Orion. So, cool. And I didn't know that. So I'm learning a lot.
I know stars because when I was a little kid, I was really, really interested in astronomy. And my father got me a telescope, and I lived in a part of Illinois where the skies were crystal clear at night, especially in the winter, which is unfortunate because I didn't like cold. But I would go out and look at the stars in the cold. And I really liked it. And I studied a bit of astrology, but as I will tell anyone, I know just enough astrology to be dangerous and not enough to really be informative. So I'm always encouraging people, and we'll have a real vetted, been doing it for, I won't tell you how many years, but she's been at it long enough to know how to do it. Dorothy Morgan's going to be here with me Thursday. We're going to talk about the wrap-up of the energies that have been flowing through these 9 days. And I hope people, I haven't asked that too much of people, but are people finding that they can come back to this space? Because I know there's been a lot of changes and a lot of, oh my God, is this going to happen? And oh my God, is that going to happen? And this space should be a place to remove us from, you've got hope or fear, and we need to be moving with hope. We need to be moving collectively with hope. And the more of us that take that little spark that exists inside of us and puts it into this, instead of having 9 little candles here, we're going to have a bonfire by the end of this time. So, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Right. And this is leading us to hope. And that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing, is opening our hearts up and going towards hope and trying to leave all the negative behind, because that's how we're all going to ascend, and we need all of us to go together. But there is the people, just like I was in the beginning. I wanted to help everybody who was in angry and in the 3D. And there's some people who just like being there. And they, when we ascend, they are just going to go to a different planet. Now, Earth is going to all ascend to 4th or 5th. We're going to ascend, and we will go with them. But the people who are really comfortable in 3D, they're just going to go to another planet. So anybody who has family members like I do and friends, don't worry about them. They're going to go where they're comfortable, and we're going to go where we're comfortable. So you can kind of let you relax about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like letting them have their free will. You have to let them have their free will so that you can have, I mean, that's what makes me angry, is they don't want me to have my free will. They decide what they think is right is going to be.
Right.
And I do live in Texas, and yes, it is a problem here.
And yes, and I live in South Carolina, and it is a problem.
And Dorothy Morgan said, I can say she's been doing astrology for 30 years.
Yes, you gave me her name, and I think I'll be contacting Dorothy.
Yes, she's really, really good. And she's really good on, this is your giant ad, Dorothy. I hope you appreciate it. What she's really good at is your personal charts. Now, I did study astrology, so I kind of know where all my natal planets are. And I can really tell you when some bad things are bad. Okay. Challenging, difficult things that make you grow. And my Taurus side that doesn't want to move thinks that's bad. But my Scorpio side's like, okay, yeah, let's go through it. Let's phoenix out of this situation. But
we
Dorothy,
were doing the starseed astrology for about 5 weeks there.
mm-hmm.
Anne Marie and I were doing the starseed astrology, which was a lot of fun, and I was learning a lot from that.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, my life is going in a bigger direction on what they're wanting me to do, so I'm having to give that up right now. And
well, you got to realize too, the astrology that we read is Earth centric, and you're not Earth centric right now.
Right, and it seems like to me just one planet that I discover, which I already have discovered a star that's not in our astrology,
Mm-hmm.
that is to throw everything off, because, as I said, I've already discovered a species living on a star, and it's on the backside that we can't see. And I'm thinking more that I keep diving into this, it's really going to disrupt astrology a little bit, or a lot.
Well, that's okay. For those of us who stopped with the planets and still don't understand the asteroids, that's probably okay. Also, I want to let people know Dr. Gail does do, what do you call it when you work with someone who's got problems that they're?
I'm a starseed healer.
Okay.
And what
she,
I do,
to not tell too much about a friend of mine, but I had a friend who was stuck in one place. And he'd been stuck in one place for a long time. And I just said, why don't you try this? And I mean, he was really at the point in his life was, I'll try anything. And the day after.
And I was anything.
And that was the end. I mean, trust me. I mean, he is not, well, he's more open to the idea that there are bigger worlds out there. But I didn't know Gail well. And I just said, well, go try this lady. I'm interested in what she's talking about. And I cannot tell you, I called him the day after he'd worked with Gail. And it's been phenomenal. It has changed his life, which has changed all of our lives of everyone who cares about him. He is like a different human being. It's like he is like the pleasant person we always knew was in there but couldn't get out. And I'm not going to tell a story or any of the other stuff about it, but Gail really helped him kick what he needed to get kicked out of his system. So if you're really, 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 really stuck, you might talk to her. The other thing is, I had another friend who said, oh, he changed so much, I want to do it. And then when she went to Dr. Gail said, no, you need to do this, which is separate from what she does. And that friend was a little upset. She said, well, how come she just can't change me overnight? And I said, you wouldn't want to have been living with that guy. He lived for 60 years with the problem. It was something that came forward from childhood. And let's see what else. People are talking about.
What I'm using, if people get blocked, is usually a negative entity or some type of implant that's been put in them from a different species. And what I do is I get rid of that. And also, a lot of us who are in this business do get negative entities that attack readers. And so I go in and get rid of them. For some reason, that's a very easy thing for me to do. So I always tell them all, if anything negative or something's happening in your life, just let me know. I can get rid of it.
Yeah, and it's true. And I know there's some readers who say there's no such things as evil or demons or things like that. And I think that's what these guys come through to us as. Trust me, guys, 6 months ago, if you're sitting at home rolling your eyes and saying, why is Nancy talking to this woman? I've been through it with Dr. Gail. I've talked to her for a long time, and I believe what she says she's doing. I mean, look what I do. I put rocks in a frame, and people say it changes their life. I mean, what's different, right?
Well, 2 years ago, I'd have thought, what in the world is she talking about? If I would have been in the same place. And me coming from the science background as a nurse, and then I went back to school and became a chiropractor, this is extremely foreign to me, but it's always been in me. And so when I allowed it to come in, then it is coming in. And I have never enjoyed anything. I mean, I love being a nurse and I love being a chiropractor, but this is just amazing. Just amazing. I love every bit of it.
It's so much fun watching people change and finding ways to help people change in positive directions. That's why we're doing the 9 candles right now, because we're coming into an extremely interesting full moon, and it's kicking off a whole set of full moon cycles and new moon cycles that are going to be rocking our world. And I think it's nice to know there are safe places to go back to, because sometimes those kind of changes can just drive us back into fear, or I signed up but I didn't sign up for that. You know?
Right.
So, okay. Dorothy's getting lots of people subscribing to her channel. I hope people are going to be subscribing to Skywalking with Moon. I'm going to do what I always do at this time. I'm going to blow all the candles out.
Okay.
Remember, if you've got candles lit, you can leave them burning a little longer, but don't leave them burning overnight, or you won't have 9. I know, that's the smoke going up to heaven and sealing our prayers. So, and thank you for stepping in, Dr. Gail, because
you're welcome.
I would have been boring me by now. If anybody has a super, super important question they absolutely can't live without an answer to, I'll lay a couple coins. Yes, we live in interesting times, and that is that old Chinese proverb.
I know everything I've been saying is very different for a lot of people, and it's very different for me when I began doing this. But I've accepted this role, and it's great, and I am anxious to meet somebody else who's doing the same thing I'm doing. If you know anybody out there who's doing the same thing I'm doing, I'd love to meet them.
Well, in my realm, you're unique.
I know. That's what everybody says, because I'm always asking, is there somebody? I'd love to talk to somebody doing the same thing. Everybody's like, no, I don't know anybody who's doing that. No.
Well, and my friend that you helped, he had for a long time worked with or been around a man who's been channeling aliens and alien information for quite a while. I mean, so that's why when I told him, that was like the least of his problems. It was just,
Right.
trusting enough to go into it. And we're getting thank yous to both of us. Hi to everyone. People are putting up little lit candles. I'm going to let Dr. Gail go back to her thing in South Carolina,